Okay, we're back, and I'm delighted to have back in the studio with us today Doug Gould. He's the Executive Director of Foundations for Recovery, and another great ministry in Southern Oregon doing an incredible work. And he's brought with him Nick Weaver. We're going to introduce Nick to you in just a moment. But Doug, 2 years now, huh?
Yeah, opening the doors 2 years, 2 years ago.
And tell us quickly, what is Foundations for Recovery?
Yeah, thanks, Perry. Good to be back.
Good to see you.
Foundation for Recovery offers individual peer mentoring, one-on-one recovery coaching. Now that sounds like a mouthful, but basically what we do and our program is designed to do is to take that young person that walks through the door and hook them up with a recovery coach who's had a similar background. And it seems to be working. Right now we're pushing a success rate about 55 to 60% sobriety rate. Wow. Which is
that's huge.
Probably about 10, 11 times over the national average. And peer mentoring is the wave of the future. Wow. And we're seeing some tremendous success of taking that young person, hooking them up with a recovery coach, and working with them on one-on-one basis.
All right, quick question. How big is the addiction problem in our area?
It's widespread, and it's and unfortunately we live in a county. In fact, we just got the county numbers about a month ago, and Jackson County, based on population, we are very close to Multnomah County and Washington County up there. Really? up north. The addiction and the epidemic here in the valley is widespread, and it's just no respecter of persons either, Perry. Yeah. It affects all types of ages.
Now you bring the faith element into your recovery. How's that applied?
Well, basically we are faith-based. We don't force that on the client that comes through the door. When they come through the door, we've had many clients who are atheists, agnostics, different sexual orientation. They're there for recovery. But I'm a firm believer that before you want to win them to the Lord, you got to win them to yourself. Right. And a lot of our young people that come through have a resentment toward God anyway. And that's probably one of the reasons why they use in the first place. And there's a lot of fear component when the young person comes in. So we try to calm their fears, work with them one-on-one in recovery coaching, and then when it comes working with their goals and they're setting their goals, the concept of God comes up. Yeah. And then we reconnect them with their faith.
Oh, that's wonderful. You need help? Do you need volunteers?
Actually, we've got right now 27 recovery coaches on staff.
Well, that's wonderful.
And we're always looking for more.
Yeah.
What we want our community to know is this: we don't charge the client that comes through the door. Because most of the time, the clients that come through the door, they've already spent quite a bit of money on rehab. Yeah. And so we are completely funded by local communities, our community sponsors, individual donors through churches, and our folks of our community of supporting us. And that's what we need. We need prayer support and we need financial support.
All right, and they get a hold of you through Foundations for Recovery. And
absolutely.
Is that a website too?
Yes, Love Foundations with an S, lovefoundations.com is our website, and you can go on there and check us out.
These guys are doing it. Their numbers are where all the numbers should be. All right, introduce Nick to us.
Oh, this is a young man that we're really excited about. Nick came to see us about 2 years ago. He had a felony against him. He's got 10 years of addiction abuse. And Nick came to see us, and he was scared, he was nervous, but he had tried some other things in his life, and his parents got some information regarding about what we do, so he came to see us, and we started working with this program. Unfortunately, he went back out and started using again, but we don't quit on him, and he didn't quit on himself. He realized that he needed to come back, and so this is Nick, and he's coming up on 1.5 years being clean and sober after 10 years of addiction.
Nick, good to see you.
Good to be here.
What was your addiction?
I was addicted to pain pills, meth, and heroin.
Now, the statistics tell you don't recover from that.
No.
All right. Tell us your story. How'd that happen?
Well, I got addicted to painkillers probably about 6 or 7 years ago, getting them from a doctor. And my use just escalated to meth when I couldn't find the pain pills so I wouldn't be sick, and then heroin was cheaper, so I switched to that.
Now, you got into trouble?
I did.
Tell us that.
I spent some time in jail for mail theft. I was working for the post office, and the money ran out, and I switched to crime to support my habit.
Those watching on theDove TV, here's a before and after Nick picture this morning, and this is classic, absolutely classic. All right, what drew you? What made you think, all right, I can't handle this. I need something beyond myself here.
I think it was the fact that I thought that I was probably going to end up dying in my addiction. I needed some help, and I had ran out of resources. You know, how I heard about the foundation was my mom got handed a brochure about Foundations for Recovery when I was in jail, and it was just like a last-ditch effort. Like, I don't want to use and drink anymore. You know, I need all the help I can get.
Were you afraid of the drying out, the sobriety process, that you could handle it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was the toughest thing I've ever done, and I couldn't handle it at first, and that's why I ran.
Okay.
But you know, the more I went to meetings, the more I found out people can do this. Gave me hope.
Now, you're on the other side of it, and do you still need coaching?
Sometimes.
Let me ask Doug, does he still need coaching?
We all do.
Yeah, I know.
We all do too.
Okay, so there's this constant bond that's going on there.
Yeah, yeah, and Doug's also my sponsor too, as a recovery coach.
What could you say to a parent or somebody listening or watching right now, knows they need the help you went through, but can't seem to pull themselves to the foundation? What would you say to them?
Just come down and give us a try. You know, you got to put as much into your recovery as you put into your addiction. I never took a day off in my addiction. I never decided I was going to take a break, a week off, and that's what I had to do for recovery. And you know, as I got into it, as I worked the 12 steps, as I went to meetings, it got easier and easier and easier, until before you knew it, I don't think about using or drinking anymore.
How important is unconditional love, support from the foundation, you know, Doug and his crew and your family? How important is that in this process?
Well, you know, in a world where you feel really hopeless, like nobody cares about you when you're using and drinking, when you come out of that and you come to a place like Foundations for Recovery, and they just, you know, they really care, because we're not trying to pull you in for money. you know, we're all volunteers there. Right. So I'm not getting paid when I meet with my clients. I'm there because I care. And I think that shows in all of our coaches. It shows in our executive director here. He's got an awesome passion for this. And when we stumble, or a client stumbles like I did, relapse, you know, he was there when I got out of rehab to take me to a meeting that night. And I never left his side for like the first 6 months. You know, he poured his heart and soul into me.
You know, both Nick and Doug epitomize something I have said on radio and television for 30 years. Whatever God saves you from or brings you through, he turns you around and makes you a minister too.
Yeah.
So it takes you to lead somebody else through that same place that you were there. And so he's now one of your counselors. So you've obviously have gone from recovery to training,
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
What kind of a program is that?
And Perry, I tell you, you're absolutely right. God never passes up on using a hurt in our life to help someone else. And that's the key behind the Foundation for Recovery. When you take someone who has been there, you know, Romans 8, we know that all things work together for good, you know, and you take that individual, and then they begin to become founded in their recovery, in their sobriety, and then they have a passion. You know, Bill Wilson, founder of AA, had it right back in 1935. You take the message to someone else, and then a miracle happens when you do that. You find yourself also staying clean and sober because you're giving your program away. And he had it right. It was absolutely right. But this is also from the good book, the big book, the bigger book. And that is
the book.
we're taking the message of hope. And if there are young people, even moms and dads, one of the things the Foundation for Recovery does, and it's continuing to do, not only do we offer peer mentoring, but now we're getting into family and marriage counseling and relationship counseling. Because we're finding out that when the young person begins to get clean and sober, that mom and dad, that spouse, or that individual of the family, then the character defects of that individual begin to fester. And learning to cope now in society without the drug and the alcohol. If there's a person listening today or watching, Perry, the fear of quitting is astronomically high. But we want to let the viewers know and the listeners know that if you just come to us, we have coaches that have understand and have been there. And what happens is, this is amazing product, a Foundation for Recovery, because it's peer mentoring. So when that passion happens, that person wants to give their program away, we take them through academy training, we teach them, we equip them, we certify them through the Connecticut Center for Addiction Recovery peer mentoring model, which is a 40-hour class, and then we begin to give the program away.
God doesn't waste anything, huh? Nothing.
Amazing, isn't it?
Nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
absolutely amazing.
Well, Nick, your story is encouraging and inspiring, and I want to say to those listening and watching, check out Foundations for Recovery, and if you are being moved by this, support them. Support them. All volunteer, all supports by church and outside in, so they can offer the most important service that's needed out there free. It's a mind-boggling thing for me, Doug. It really is. Do you have a phone number? Should they call you?
We do. It's 541-245-4673.
4673.
Which spells HOPE. 4673.
245-HOPE. Give them a call. Well, Doug and Nick, thank you for your time and your story. The best to you. Amazing walk, isn't it?
Yeah, it really has been.
We're proud of them. Proud of all of our clients.
What do you think the Lord has for you in the future?
Well, I plan on attending Bible college in January and going into ministry myself.
Really?
Yes.
You're going to go to Pacific Bible here?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
It all works together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing place. Hey, thanks, guys. We'll
Thanks,
be right
Mary.
back.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.